I am very well, thank you, on this Thursday.
Great, great. A pleasant good afternoon to you as well as the listeners of Freedom 106.5 FM. Always a pleasure to be here every Thursday discussing health. We had a very interesting discussion last. We touched on a number of things, and of course, the segment is an interactive segment. So, of course, we encourage persons, to ask their questions via the different mediums, that type of thing. So, as regards to the topic of discussion today, I decided I will touch on eye health again, for the simple fact that we have so many persons in Trinidad and Tobago. Because of our very large diabetic population, we have some serious issues associated with eye health. Increased numbers in glaucoma, cataracts, macular degeneration, retinal detachment, which is known as bleeding behind the eyes, and so many other things. So we're going to discuss, what are the fundamentals to really achieve healthier eyesight and to prevent, if you are someone who falls in the category of being a diabetic, or maybe someone who has situations associated with hypertension. How can you now sort of even your odds or better your chances of not losing your eyesight as you get older? So getting right into it, one of the most fundamental foundations of proper eyesight is proper circulation, blood circulation, especially as it relates to pulmonary circulation. So we know fundamentally you have two types of circulation. Pulmonary circulation is above the heart, systemic circulation is below. And in order to have very healthy eyesight, you need to have proper pulmonary circulation, which means that you need to have proper blood flow in the cerebral hemisphere, in the brain, so that all those cells of the eyes could actually be fed properly with proper blood circulation. You find that you have proper oxygenation. And we know the importance of blood. Blood is to transport oxygen and nutrients to various cells in the body. So when we're speaking about, for example, someone who has a condition like cataract, cataract is basically mineral buildup on the lens of the eye. A cataract would consist of a number of different minerals, calcium, magnesium. You would have some protein inside of there as well that would actually form on the lens of the eye and, of course, cause the vision to become blurred or disrupted. You also have what is known as glaucoma, and the glaucoma is actually high ocular pressure in the eyes. The pressure in the human eye should be, for an adult, anywhere in the vicinity of maybe about 12 to about 15. Those ranges would be healthy. You have open-angle glaucoma, and you also have closed-angle glaucoma. And persons, of course, with elevated eye pressure run the risk of becoming blind, because with that elevated ocular pressure, you could have rupturing of blood vessels in the eye. You could have serious problems in terms of damage to those particular cells. And then, of course, we have what is known as retinal detachment, which is bleeding behind the eye. So what I'm going to do, I can't go through all within the short space of time that we have, and I would really like to entertain some questions, not only on this topic, but any questions that persons may have. So we will just touch on two today, and the two we're going to deal with would be glaucoma and cataract. So one of the things we carry at Batson Associates is a product known as Eye Optics Formula. And Eye Optics Formula is basically an eye drop preparation that does not have any steroids in it. It's basically founded on Ayurvedic and Chinese medicine. But one of the things that it has the ability to do is to improve circulation in the eyes. You'll notice I'm focusing a lot on circulation as it relates to eye health, because I think a lot of persons don't understand how important blood circulation is to the body, especially as it relates to the eyes. So one of the other aspects that we need to pay very close attention to is the aspect of proper hydration. And this is something that I've spoken about on numerous occasions, why it is so important to drink a lot of water. So you usually find persons who are diagnosed with glaucoma, and I've seen this personally in dealing with a lot of glaucoma patients. They are usually not water drinkers, for want of a better expression. They are usually dehydrated. And a lot of persons, as I said, are dehydrated, and they don't even know they're dehydrated. So you have to understand, in order for you to have healthy or enjoy healthy eyesight, especially as you age, it is vitally important that you hydrate the body properly. And of course, we know the rule for proper hydration. It is your body weight divided by 2. in ounces. So if you weigh 160 pounds, half of 160 is 80. It means you should be having at least 80 ounces of water for the day. If we were to convert that into liters, off the top of my head, you're looking at about 2 point something liters, close to 3 liters of water for the day. So, you know, it's very easy for the listening audience and anyone out there to check themselves and actually work on improving their circulation. So it's your body weight divided by 2 in ounces, and that will, as I said, help with hydration, which in turn would actually help with eyesight. One of the things a lot of persons don't understand is that, you know, they would think, well, okay, what does water have to do with my eyesight? Water has everything to do with your eyesight. So as I said, if you are dehydrated especially, you're not drinking sufficient water, you are a diabetic, because we know why diabetics have so many problems. And it's fundamentally because, especially as it relates to eyesight, excessive levels of glucose in the bloodstream causes serious damage to blood vessels. So someone who is diabetic, especially a type 1 diabetic, someone on insulin, you know, you run the risk of developing serious eye issues. 1, because you're on insulin, and 2, because you're a type 1 diabetic. So, you know, it causes serious problems in that particular area. So that's something to pay very close attention to. Let me just run quickly the clinic telephone numbers and locations. We are located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That is Money Talks building in Montrose, Chaguanas. We're also on the corner of Ramsamouch Trace and the SS Erie Main Road in Debe. The telephone number for Chaguanas would be 222-8261. That's 222-8261. And Debe's number is 223-7515. Again, that's the corner of Ramsamouch Trace and the SS Erie Main Road in Debe. That telephone number is 223-7515. We have any questions as yet?
Yes, we do. Someone is asking if fish oil is good for your eyes.
Actually, it's very good for your eyes. Exceptionally good. One of the things the World Health Organization had published a study some years ago. It was a triple-blind study that was done somewhere in Europe. And one of the things that they highlighted is, you know, persons who have serious problems, just as I explained the situation in the beginning with proper pulmonary circulation, omegas would help to improve proper pulmonary circulation. It improves the quality of one's blood cells. It improves, even as it relates to eye health, because omegas in general actually improve blood circulation over time. The problem is most persons, as it relates to omegas, do not use enough. So when you're looking at omegas, you're really looking at something known as EPA and DHA, which are 2 types of acid that are comprised in omegas. So you may be using an omega that is 1,000 milligram, but in that 1,000 milligram, you do not necessarily have the sufficient amount of EPA and DHA. So that's very important. Usually, I would recommend anywhere about 3,000 milligrams daily. So you could take 1 with your meals, 1 with breakfast, 1 with lunch, 1 with dinner. And that would definitely assist in improving an eye health situation. There's a particular product we carry at Batson Associates called, it's an omega product, but it also has something in it known as astaxanthin. If you do research, astaxanthin is actually, it's an antioxidant. 1, it is also sort of doubles as a free radical scavenger. So it actually helps to reduce oxidation in the body. But it is very good for eyesight. It is very good for cognitive function, memory, and those type of things. So you're looking at something in that vein. In addition to that, when you're looking at proper eye health, you need the first 5 letters of the alphabet: vitamin A, B, C, D, and E. You must have those in your regime in some form in order to assist in, you know, maintaining and achieving better eye health, especially based on some of the eye conditions I spoke about at the genesis of the conversation: cataract, glaucoma especially. Okay?
And that person is asking a follow-up question, asking which is better, krill oil versus fish oil?
The person hit the nail on the head. It depends on what you want to do. The krill oil that we carry, and that is actually the one that has astaxanthin in it. So the person hit the nail on the head there, actually. I wouldn't say one is better than the other. It depends on the purpose. So you find fish oil tends to be very advantageous as it relates to cardiovascular circulation. Krill, on the other hand, is very advantageous as it relates to Circulation, yes, but more in the cerebral hemisphere. So I would normally use that with stroke patients. I use it with persons who may have had TIAs, which are transient ischemic attacks, which is basically a mini stroke. People who have issues with things like Parkinson, cognitive function, those type of things. So both are beneficial, but it just depends on the dynamics as it relates to which aspect of circulation in the body you're looking to improve. Yeah.
Reminder that if you have a medical question for Dr. Batson, you can call us right now at 627-3223, 627-3223, or 625-2257, 625-2257. You can also send your medical questions via WhatsApp to the number 306-1065, 306-1065. And Dr. Batson, we have a WhatsApp message that reads, "Good day, Dr. Batson. I wear glasses. I am getting older. Can diet improve my eyesight?"
Yes, it can. Definitely. I mean, diet could improve anything. You know, the thing is, if you have things like astigmatism, which is nearsightedness, you find diet could help you in that situation, but it may take a longer period of time. But as it relates to the eye situations that I mentioned, things like glaucoma, cataract, definitely, it's just a matter of now, you know, having less inflammatory foods in your diet, which a lot of people doesn't like to hear because that tends to be a lot of our favorite things, but too much of those things not good for us. So hydrogenated oils, processed food, sugars is like the worst of everything. So once you limit those in the intake in your diet and you use more green leafy vegetables, things with orange color things are always good for your eyes. I mean, we learned that in school growing up. So things like pumpkin, squash, carrots, those have that pigmentation, which have things like anthocyanins and those different type of nutrition that actually helps to improve eye health. So definitely diet can improve eye health and any aspect of one's health in general.
And a reminder that you can give us a call here at Freedom 106.5 FM to have your medical question answered by Dr. Jason Batson. Those numbers again are 627-3223, 627-3223, or you can call us at 625-2257, 625-2257. And we do have a caller. Hello and welcome.
Hello, good day.
Good day.
Hi, I would like to discuss the medication, Dr. Batson.
Yes, go right ahead and ask your question. You're live.
Okay, sure, thank you. I wanted to ask about treatment for a 3-year-old who needs a drip.
Okay, so it's a 3-year-old that has been diagnosed with post-nasal drip, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay, good. So you could listen off there. But tell me something. Is it that the child has any history of asthma, sinusitis, anything like that?
Not until now, but father has history of asthma.
Okay, good. Okay, so you could listen off there. The thing is, when you're looking at a post-nasal drip, which most people could get, it basically means you would have gotten the cold. And the thing is, when you get the common cold, it's basically an infection that you get. Colds are viruses. Now, the thing is, it depends on where the virus is. People automatically think once you get the cold, the virus is a number of times nasal cavity. It could also be in the lungs as well, that whole respiratory system. So you find there's a situation called a post-nasal drip where you have this drip at the back of the throat, and what it does, it produces like a dry cough. What that simply means, it means that the infection hasn't cleared up properly, and most infections don't clear up properly unless you know exactly what it is you're doing, even if antibiotic treatment is recommended. I mean, of course, for a 3-year-old, we don't want to be giving too much antibiotics to that child that age. What I would recommend is a product that we carry at Batson and Associates called Silver with Mineral Formula. Now, this is a product that I've used on a lot of young children that I've dealt with, even babies, with things like eczema, respiratory problems, early signs of asthma, bronchitis, those type of things. And the reason for that is that apart from your standard antibiotics, which would be things like, or even the corticosteroids, so things like prednisolone and things like various antibiotics, you find that silver with mineral formula would not affect tissue, and it does not interfere with probiotics. So it would not interfere with the gastrointestinal balance, especially for a baby. I mean, that age 3 years, you don't want that problems because that can later on lead to issues, with skin problems and that type of thing. So basically, silver with mineral formula, what I suggest you also pay very close attention to is the water intake of that child. I mean, at that age, there's a certain amount of water that children should use. As it relates to snacks and those type of things, I would take the snacks, if it is present in the diet, remove it for a while. Things like biscuit and conkers and those type of things, sodas, take that out of the diet. You're looking at more fruits, that type of thing, and it should clear up. But that is basically what it is. Postnasal drips are infections that have not cleared up completely, and as a result of that, you end up with that situation of a postnasal drip. So you can feel free to give us a call or visit. Again, very quickly, those telephone numbers, the Shogunas Clinic, that is located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That is Money Talks building in Montrose, Shogunas. That telephone number is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. Debe's office is located on the corner of Ramsey Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in Debe. That telephone number is 223-7515. Again, that's 223-7515. And St. James is Red Edge Mall. That's Western Main Road, St. James. And that telephone number is 220-8113. Again, 220-8113. Back to you.
And of course, if you have a medical question that you would like answered live on air by Dr. Batson, feel free to give us a call right now with 627-3223 or 625-2257, 625-2257. And we do have a caller. Hello and welcome.
Hi, good afternoon, Samantha.
How are you?
Is there a difference between fish oil and cod liver oil as on some labels?
Okay. The thing is, fundamentally, no. It just depends on the type of fish that they use. So, cod is a type of fish. So, cod liver oil is basically fish oil from the cod fish. But the thing is, they use salmon. You can use pollock, which is our next type of fish. Those fish, they usually tend to use cold water fish for omegas. So essentially, it's not different. It's fundamentally the same. It's just a different type of fish that is used. And that's actually a very good question, because a lot of persons actually don't really understand that particular situation there. Very quickly, the thing is, when you're looking at your omegas, right, we fundamentally have omega-3, 6, 9. A lot of people are not aware that we actually have something called omega-7. I don't want to get into too much detail because that's a lot of information, but you actually have omega-7. Now, in the realm of fish oil, what a lot of people do not understand as well is that fish essentially gets omegas, that EPA, DHA, from what they actually eat in the ocean, which is primarily marine phytoplankton, so algae, different types of mosses or whatnot. So the thing is, you can actually get omegas from marine phytoplankton. That again is a next whole different discussion. But the thing is, it's fundamentally important that every single human being has that in their diet. You will find persons who may not really understand supplementation properly, because there are some persons who of the opinion that, listen to me, I don't really need to go and buy a fish oil, or I don't need to go and buy vitamins because I eat well. No, eat well in inverted commas, because a lot of us think we eating well, and we have deficiencies for a number of reasons. I mean, when you look at the atmosphere, when you look at the food that we actually have, even good food, if you use a lot of provisions and those type of things, vegetables and whatnot, you have to take a lot of things into consideration. I mean, we don't rest soil as we used to and rotate crops and that type of thing. So, that's something to pay very close attention to. And that's one of the things we do at Batson Associates. One of my areas of specialization is what is known as orthomolecular and clinical nutrition. That's what my PhD is in. So it's to help persons to understand, listen, you may be deficient in certain things and you're not aware. For example, if you have diabetes, anyone who is diabetic has serious deficiencies that are not aware. You have deficiency in selenium, chromium. You also have magnesium deficiency. You're going to have some gastrointestinal problems there as well. You're going to have some digestive problems. So your enzyme levels are not as high as they should. Enzymes are what primarily break down food. So when you have things, for example, we know the enzyme protease digests protein. amylase, digest starch, lipase, lipids, and whatever the case may be. The thing is, heat denatures or destroy enzymes. So once we cook food, you find that the enzyme in the foods are almost non-existent. That makes it harder for the body to actually digest. Now, there's a product that we carry at Batson and Associates called Digestive Balance, and there's one called Digestive Restore. And those products were primarily formulated for just that. A lot of persons, for example, who end up with things like bloating, gas, constipation, those are basically primary problems of the gastrointestinal system. The thing is, if those primary problems are not dealt with properly, you end up graduating to not even a secondary, but a tertiary problem, where you could end up with inflammatory bowel conditions. So you could end up with things like Crohn's, irritable bowel syndrome, diverticulitis, and the list goes on. So, you know, it's just a matter of understanding what to take, when to take. And I know sometimes some persons get very confused because it's like analysis paralysis, because it has so much information out there and you're like, oh my God, who do I listen to? But I mean, everyone has some level of intelligence. You must be able to reason, look at your source of what you're reading, and you're able to make a good decision. I mean, if you want help, you can just come to Batson and Associates, and I have no problem assisting you in that particular aspect. Okay.
We have a WhatsApp message that reads, good afternoon. What can assist with anxiety and high blood pressure?
Nice. Okay, so first, anxiety. And actually this morning, the program I was on earlier was discussing anxiety. So anxiety is an imbalance in your central nervous system. So your central nervous system, we know, comprises of just that, your nerves, circulatory aspects. There's something known as your autonomic nervous system. And your autonomic nervous system is part of your entire central nervous system. Your autonomic nervous system consists of two aspects, something known as parasympathetic and something known as sympathetic, which is basically responsible for your fight and flight response. It's responsible for even as simple thing as bowel movement. So someone who has an anxiety issues, a lot of the times that sympathetic, parasympathetic, or autonomic nervous system is a bit off. There's again, hydration, fundamentally important. So you need to look at your water intake. You also need, there's a product we carry called Nerve Restore. Nerve Restore is an adaptogen. Adaptogens are ingredients or nutrients that have the ability to reduce stress or inflammatory response in the body. So the stress hormone is cortisol. Now, once you have high levels of inflammation, your cortisol levels are very high. So one of the things that the adaptogen has the ability to do is reduce the inflammation, but also reduce cortisol levels. So someone who uses that, you would experience better sleep. So you would have better sleep, no problem falling asleep, no problem remaining asleep. Anxiety and depression issues could seriously be corrected with supplementation like that. And of course, we're going to have to look at your diet and do some work on your intestines. As regards to hypertension, hypertension fundamentally is high pressure in your arteries. Now, the thing is, with hypertension, a lot of the times, people sum it up to salt, and that could be a contributory factor, but a lot of times it's not that, because some people think, well, okay, I'm going to remove all the salt from a diet. But remember, in using salt, which is not supposed to be using table salt, because table salt is a lab salt, which is sodium chloride. Sodium chloride is not naturally found in nature. That has to be made in a lab. So if you're using things like sea salt and Himalayan salt, rock salt, whatever the case, there's a difference. But what you're looking at really is the sodium aspect. Now, you can't remove all sodium from your diet, obviously, because sodium plays a significant role in regulating blood pressure, heart function, and that type of thing. So a lot of the times, hypertension has to do with mineral deficiency, magnesium, sodium, potassium, or imbalances in any of those three. And also, you would have some, again, gastrointestinal issues there as well. And that's something that we deal with as well at Batson and Associates. Again, hydration, look at your water intake. The rule for drinking water is your body weight divided by 2 in ounces. You need to start to do that. And once you start to do that, you're going to start seeing some positive changes. And then we would just actually be able to move from there. There's a particular type of alkaline water that we carry at Batson and Associates called Alkagen water. And one of the advantages of that is that the water has something in it known as ORP. ORP is an acronym for oxidative reduction potential. And if you do some research, you'll realize that is basically an antioxidant profile. a lot of the times, the problem we have with a lot of water on the market is that a lot of water, they do reverse osmosis. But when you do reverse osmosis with water, essentially the water is dead. The minerals come out. So you don't have calcium, magnesium, and that is essentially important to be in water in order for you to have proper hydration. So that's something, again, you need to pay close attention to. Those telephone numbers, again, you can give us a call on 222-8261. That's 222-8261. For our DB office, that number is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. And St. James is 220-8113. That's 220-8113. Keep in mind our social media presence as well. We are Batson & Associates Limited on Facebook. On Instagram, we are Batson & Associates TT. And on on YouTube, we are Batson & Associates Trinidad. So you could always add us, follow us, like, and a lot of the information I've discussed there, we have there, so you could always take a look at your leisure and, get the necessary information that you need. Okay?
And a reminder that if you have a medical question for Dr. Batson, feel free to give us a call at 627-3223 or 625-2257, 625-2257. You can also send a WhatsApp to 306-1065, 306-1065. Dr. Batson, we have a WhatsApp message. The person is asking if your fish oil can become rancid or go bad.
It can if it's there for too long. I mean, storage is important. When you buy fish oil, you don't necessarily have to refrigerate them, but a cool, dark place. So maybe a cupboard, not anywhere in the house where sun is directly maybe hitting that wall or something like that. And once you do that, you don't have a problem. But it can go bad depending on how long you have it. I mean, those things have expiration dates, and as I said, storage is also important.
And again, you can call our hotline numbers if you have a question for Dr. Batson. And we do have a caller. Hello and welcome.
Hi, good afternoon. I wanted to ask Dr. Batson something. What should we suggest for something that male eat a method in order to avoid having prostate issues?
Okay, so I think I got you there. All right, good. So what foods should I suggest men should eat or males should eat to prevent prostate issues? That's the question? Samantha, did I get it correct?
I was not hearing him too clearly. I think he's still on the line. Hello?
Yeah.
Apparently, no.
I believe it was that. So he was asking what foods men could eat to prevent prostate problems. The thing is, tomato choka, interestingly, a lot of people do not know is actually very good for your prostate. The thing is, when you heat tomato consists of, is it an enzyme called lycopene? And research has shown that lycopene is very healthy for your prostate. So in that case, tomato choka is one of the things that you can use. Flaxseed is also exceptionally good for men and women as it relates to one's health in terms of male function. Women is very good for hormonal balance in men and women. So you want a lot of grains in your diets, things like your almonds, cashews. People tell you, don't eat too much cashews, it's high in cholesterol. Don't bother with them. That's nonsense. Eat your cashew. You come out way better. And the thing is, what we have to understand is that nuts and grains, again, have a lot of omegas. There was some research that they did in Italy, and one of the things that those Italian doctors found out is that, when you look at the omegas as it relates to nuts and grains, things like chia seeds, quinoa, and those type of things, once your diet is higher in that, so it's like a sort of Mediterranean diet, things like olive oil, olives, those type of things, your cardiovascular system always tends to be better because, it helps to keep the blood vessels more pliable. There's something known as vascular elasticity, which is the pliability of your blood vessels. And essentially, all blood vessels in the human body must be able to be very pliable. They must be able to move. Vasoconstriction is the contraction of blood vessels. Vasodilation is the expansion of blood vessels. So essentially, what happens to a lot of persons is that if those blood vessels become very hard, what we call atherosclerosis, you run the risk of breakage in those blood vessels, and they continually have to be repaired. And that's actually how plaque actually builds up in your arteries. So those are things to have in your diet. At Batson & Associates, we carry a product. I am big on circulation. So we bring a lot of products for circulation. We have circulation tea. There's a product we carry called Balanced Circulation that does a lot of work for people with hypertension. There's a liquid product that we have called Circulation Plus. We should be getting that back in stock, God's willing, month 10. That helps a lot with vasodilation, vasoconstriction. I'm a big advocate of L-arginine as it relates to nitric oxide. And maybe next program, I'm going to discuss the importance of nitric oxide as it relates to your cardiovascular health. So, those are some things that you need to pay attention to. So very quickly, again, they could give us a call on 222-8261. That's 222-8261. We do have our special with our live nutritional blood cell analysis and our magnetic resonance analysis, your executive consultation, and your food detox. And that is available at any one of the offices. So you can feel free to call and make your necessary appointments. As we always say at Batson and Associates, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. Samantha, thank you very much for your time. It's always a pleasure. And a pleasant good afternoon to the listeners of Freedom 106.5 FM. Do enjoy your Thursday afternoon. God bless and be safe. Thank you again.
Thank you very much, Dr. Batson. And that.
Yes, Facebook listeners. So we have we're gonna have krill in stock by next week, please God. We have actually gotten our shipment. So feel free to call and get your information. Let me just see if I could run through some questions quick here. Bishop's Kenroy McLeod is asking, what can I do to reduce my prostate? There's a tea that we carry at Batson and Associates called prostate tea. We also have something known as inflammation formula, the silver with the mineral formula. Very, very good product. You could look at that. Honeybay, a pleasant good afternoon to you with your nice self. I met Honeybay in person, and she's such a sweetheart. All right. Alison Bridgelal is saying, blessed day to you. There's a next question I'm looking at here. Nicole Noriega is asking, may I ask, what can I use for my daughter? The white of her eyes, always yellow looking, and she was born with a murmur. Okay, so that would be a heart murmur. Right. What can I use for her, doctor? Well, the thing is, with the eye situation, well, I don't know her age. If you told me her age, Miss Nicole, that would make my life a little easier. But I mean, if it's baby enough, anyone could use that eye drop. My nephew was using the eye drop when he was 2 months because he had an eye condition, and the doctors was giving him eye drop for big people. I told my sisters, don't give him that, and I worked on something, and we dealt with that situation. Okay. Oh, somebody, Miss Frederica saying, when you getting your royal jelly, Miss Frederica, if I tell you I get royal jelly for me, and I ain't get for as yet. So they send mine first, but I'm still waiting on your own. All right? Honeybee, hey doc, what's the difference between the digestive restore and the digestive balance? Good question. Digestive restore fundamentally is more a herbal preparation. So that has things like peppermint, papaya, and that is ready to bring back the balance. So people who have early signs of problems with Crohn's, irritable bowel syndrome, diverticulitis, those type of things, we deal with that particular situation. All right. Ms. Roxanne is saying, can I purchase the circulation tea without a consultation? I am hypertensive. Yes, Ms. Roxanne, you could do that. However, what I suggest you do, get some, remember what I was talking about with water. A lot of the times when you're hypertensive, you are dehydrated. So I suggest you get some alkaline water with that, and you can use some of the circulation. We also have hypertension tea as well. Okay? Okay. Dr. Batson, is liposomal vitamin C better to use than ascorbic acid? That's a good question. I know you send me back to school there. Let me check it out. I don't want to answer off the top of my head. I'm a big advocate of ascorbic acid. I never really look into liposomal too much, so I'm going to check and Shaki remind me that I have some homework to do for Miss Marie. Okay, Miss Roxanne is asking, how do you get scalp psoriasis or treat it? Well, if you have scalp psoriasis, that's usually what I could say, boy, imbalances in the gastrointestinal system, liver, kidneys. So you need to work where that is concerned. So I would suggest in a case like that, you're looking at using baking soda in your hair is a very good thing. So instead of shampoo in your hair, take a teaspoon of shampoo, and add 2 tablespoons of baking soda. Mix it in some water, enough to put in the hair, in the scalp, and you wash your scalp with it. That should help you. At Batson Associates, we carry a liver tea. That's going to give you some help. We also have the skin tea. I think we bought skin tea this time. I think I bought. We should have that in stock as well. Alkagen water, your Santulan, your silver with your mineral formula. But your water. Y'all feel as come on this to tell all you just to buy water. I don't expect people to be able to afford Alkagen water all the time. Well, I feel it is. I'm not mad. But even if you filter your water, but you need to focus on your hydration. A lot of y'all do not drink water. You just forget. How could you forget to drink water? Really? And the only time you remember is when you're thirsty. Remember, thirst is a 30 minutes delayed response. So if you're thirsty 3 o'clock, you're already thirsty since 2:30. The message takes half an hour to reach. All right? Then, Ms. Avian Francis, hi, Dr. B. What can be used if someone was told pressure in one eye is high? Thank you. They need to, again, Alkagen water. They need to get one of the eye optics formula. They can get some IT and some vitamins, vitamin A, B, C. And they could start to get some results. There's a product we carry at Batson Associates called Optimizer. Very good product. Very, very good product. That product was actually prepared for persons with eye problems. And that is where we got the majority of results that we had gotten with it. Okay, guys? So as usual, it's always a pleasure. I look forward to seeing you guys on Sunday, please God. Sunday, I'm going to be diligent and come and do my 2-hour program with you guys. So as we always say at Batson Associates, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. Honeybee says, oh, LOL, it was a pleasure meeting you as well. Yes, my dear. Right? So remember those telephone numbers. Shabonas is 222-8261. Debe, it's 223-7515. I will be in Debe next week, Wednesday. I forgot to say that on the radio. So next week, Wednesday, I'm actually working in Debe. Yeah, I changed up my days because I was playing picture with you guys. What, Shaquille? No. I am going to Debe on Wednesday. Yeah, because I have to mix those days up. Okay. Right? St. James number is 220-8113. That's 220-8113. And Tobago is 226-4553, 226-4553. Keep in mind our senior consultants. That is Mr. Karishma Ramdan, Mr. Rene Bastamante, Mr. Paul Green, and well, yours truly, Dr. Batson. Dr. Batson is the senior medical consultant. So you know what that means, right? Dr. Batson is so busy that he just reviews things. But I have put a system in place and my consultants are exceptionally good. Exceptionally. All right, so keep that in mind. And do enjoy the rest of your Thursday, God's willing. And have a blessed day. Take care. Bye-bye.